On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1962. We're going to be taking a look at Little Eva, and she's going to be performing the locomotion. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So a relatively short video for tonight. This performance is about 2.5 minutes in length, so we'll watch it the whole way through and then get into the analysis after. But let's dive into it and see how Eva gets on.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with me. It's easier than learning your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, baby. Jump up, jump back. Well, I think you got the knack. Whoa, whoa. Now that you can do it, let's make a change now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. A chugga motion like a railroad train now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it nice and easy now, don't lose control. A little bit of rhythm and a lot of soul. Come on, do the locomotion with me. Yeah. Move around the floor in a locomotion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it holding hands if you get the notion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. There's never been a dance that's so easy to do. It even makes you happy when you're feeling blue. So come on, do the locomotion with me. Come on, you gotta swing your hips now. Come on, that's right. You're showing fine. Come on, do the locomotion. Come on, baby. Jump back. Jump back. You're looking good. Jump back. Jump back.
And to fade out, it's interesting that at the end you can hear the clapping is ever so slightly becoming out of time, that they're clapping a little bit too fast for then the instrumentation. But obviously this video has been pieced together from different bits of footage. I think we then had a cut to footage that was used in the intro, so obviously it's not a full performance, but we do get the full audio, which is great. I'm not sure about some of the dancing going on in the background as well. There are particular movements, from the dances in here, which I don't think are part of the dance when people do the dance. And just to point out that when this song was originally written, there wasn't a dance with it. It was just a song about the locomotion, but they hadn't really written that into it. And just to cover this song, who it was written by is Jerry Goffin and Carole King. Just to put in here, I have seen comments on the internet about how this song came to be, or at least people thinking of how it came about. And this was that Eva was babysitting for Jerry and Carole, which is true. She did babysit for them, but they didn't write this for her, just in an evening or something. It was originally written, like I said, for Dee Dee Sharp, who turned it down. And once Jerry and Carole heard that Eva had quite a good voice, they decided to record it, and one thing led to another. And this was the song without the dance routine. The dance routine is something that Eva just had to make up and kind of did the arms motion like the locomotion as we know it now. And certainly here in the UK, another interesting thing is that this song was a huge hit. It got to number 2, I think, in the UK charts. And I mean, from my childhood, I know this song from Kylie Minogue. She had a huge hit with it here in the UK as well. I believe it was a big hit for her over in the USA as well as the UK, but probably worldwide. Anyway, another thing that happened was that when this song was released, because it was so catchy, it's just so hooky, it just gets stuck in your head. There's a British girl group called the Vernon's Girls, and they recorded their version of it immediately. So whoever was working in the studio probably realised, or their management realised, this is a really good tune, we've got to release this ourselves. And they did it so quickly, it was in the charts the same week as Eva's original version. This is just something that tended to happen back in the day. When there was a good song, everybody jumped on it and released their own version of it pretty much instantly. So when I look through some of these very old videos, more often than not, there's at least 2 different artists or bands who have the same song in the charts at the same time. But anyway, Eva's version did very well, and the Vernon's Girls version didn't do as well. I think it got to like in the 40s somewhere, maybe 47, something like that in the charts. So this is the one that very much took the attention, and I think a lot of people would say quite rightly, because it was the original release and the release that was directly related to the songwriters and who they wanted to sing the song. So anyway, just to level that all out, so we've got a bit of a background. But why is this so catchy, and why did it do so well? We're going to attempt to answer those questions. And I mean, first of all, you can say that this is one of the first songs ever that has a dance attributed to it, and it's explaining the movements of the dance for people to get involved with it, even though it wasn't released that way in the first place. Nowadays, it's quite common to have songs, and have had songs in the charts, that are just explaining a dance, and everyone gets into it, and you know, it's very light-hearted, and it tends to be very straightforward, very catchy. You've got to have strong melody in there, you've got to have hooks. The other thing you've got to have is a straightforward time signature, and this is what we have here, and that's what you have in lots of other songs where there's a dance routine. People have got to be able to get the rhythm and follow the beats, and this is what we've got, just a standard 4/4 time signature, which means you know what's happening, and effectively you know where you're going. It's like going on a musical journey, but before you start the journey, you're giving everybody a map, so they're ready for the changes when they happen. So I've grabbed the guitar quickly just to demonstrate what I'm talking about, and this isn't going to be an instructional video of how to play it. I want to just emphasize more on the timings. Obviously the chords are straightforward as well, but when I'm saying about everyone having a map, it means that we're going 1 2 3 4 change, 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 change, 2 3 4, and those 4 beats and the changes are going to be happening all the time like that for the whole song. So once your ear and your brain takes in that information in the verse, you now know how it's going to go. Even though you don't know that you know that, everyone's ear tunes into this kind of thing, and more importantly, the feel of it, the tempo, the changes, that all gets stored as well. So then as we move down to 2 3 4, 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, you're always expecting the changes now to happen in those places, and they do happen in those places. So it means that this is information that your brain can store really easily, and that's a huge part of it. So to give an exact opposite example of this, if the song was in 5/4, it means that we'd have 5 beats to the bar, and it would go 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and you can hear and feel how it doesn't flow like the even numbers do. When you've got an odd number, it doesn't fall in sequence. So this is why, just from a tempo perspective and the chord changes, it's easy to store. Therefore, it's going to get stuck in your head, because hearing a different time signature sometimes, and I'd say the majority of the time, you've got to listen to it a few times to then figure out, okay, right now, I know what time signature this is in, because by the time you've heard the second bar, that is then effectively telling you what the time signature is, because you might have counted to 4 in the first bar and then you've been a beat out. You think, oh, what happened? That didn't change where I was expecting it. So you need to hear more. You need more information to store what's going on. But here, you only need 1 bar because it changes on 4. And in popular music, in the mainstream charts, that's always what happens. It goes to 4, starts again. Just makes it so much more accessible for listeners. The other great thing about it, instrumentally, musically, the way it's been composed, is the way that we do have these different sections. It's a journey that's evolving the whole time. Because when we have this, it's an E flat, if you want to know, but we have this... really simple changes from E flat to C minor. And now here we have a change. And actually, there's a really subtle change there, going from the minor to the major on the F. And that's something that I think the backing harmonies, the backing singers are doing that. They're effectively singing the notes of the chord. So it gives it a slightly different feel. And this chord, and it might even have a 7th in there. But anyway, this chord is telling you something's about to change. And it does, because it's effectively our chorus, our tagline of the song, do the locomotion. And again, really simple chords, but getting into the vocals, and we will reference this. Let me take it back to relatively close to the beginning. I'll take it back to that first verse.
Doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion.
Right. This is so important, what's going on between the vocals we're hearing, the backing vocals, and then Eva's vocal, because we're entering into the song and we've got na 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 na, and this is the other thing that, her vocals are just spot on with those little tail offs at the end of vocal phrases. But then we've got the response. This is it. It's huge. Call and response. Sometimes you'll get that between the vocalist, or even if the person's playing guitar, they'll sing a vocal line and then they'll come away from the mic and play the response with the instrument. And this call and response is such an important part of music, but the difference here is the response is being done by the backing vocalist. So it means that you get a conversation that you're listening to with this call and response, so it means it sticks out even more. The other thing is the phrasing. You'll notice how that melody in the verse flows the first time we hear it. What I just sang with the na 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 na, and that na 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 na. It's got a little slide in there. It's all quite smooth and quite legato, the way that it's been delivered. But the response to that is high. It'll be na 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 na. That's a high C. So I'll take it an octave lower. So going na 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 na. Now when we're listening to that, listen to how staccato that is, and it makes sense with the lyrical content, because the lyrics are saying, "Come on, baby, do the locomotion." It's an order, it's an instruction. I know that technically, when I say that it sounds more staccato, if you were singing this without the consonants, it means that it would all be joined. It'd be na na na, one long held vocal phrase. But the consonants has the effect, or even the illusion, of breaking up the sound, and by having those da 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 da, the accents is what makes it stand out and sound a little bit more regimented than the previous vocal that we've heard from Eva in the verse. So again, a really subtle thing, but the way that it changes, not only with the consonants being more abrupt, but just the timing being more relentless, just gives it a totally different personality, that of an instruction. But let's listen on.
I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with me. It's easier than learning your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, baby, jump up, jump back. Well, I think you got the knack. Whoa, whoa, now that you can do it, let's make a chain now.
Also, just listen out for the claps that are introduced. Again, that's something that if you're listening to this, or especially if people are watching this live, they'll start clapping along when they hear clapping. So it's bringing in that involvement factor, people wanting to get into doing something with the song, and clapping will always have that effect. We'll listen to the isolated vocal as I have done it.
Come on, baby, do the locomotion. A chugga motion like a railroad train now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it nice and easy now, don't lose control.
I don't know what this is. It's like imitating a fish or something doing the dance. Let's focus on the music.
A little bit of rhythm and a lot of soul. Come on, do the locomotion with me.
So another really important thing to bring up about the solo that we get, and I bring in the instrumentation because the saxophone here is really focusing on melody and focusing on the melody of the lead vocal. Once you've got these hooks, these melodic hooks, just reinstating them with a solo, with a slight bit of extemporization, but really giving yourself that blueprint of having the solo, sticking to that melody, is great. Let's just have a listen again.
Come on, do the locomotion with me.
So there, I mean, using that framework, because the melody would be that. Those are the notes that we've got to work with, and we kind of have this. Yeah. Let's see where we go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there, we've got that. Yeah, and just repeating those notes, but it's pretty much the melody that we have in the verse and the melody from the vocals. So this is what I mean about having another voice that's going to take your attention. Obviously, being a saxophone, it's going to be something different, but just these tiny bits of extemporization, using a melody, and sometimes it's not even changing the melody, but changing the way the melody is played. Obviously on guitar, if I'm going the notes that we had before, I can't smoothly slide up to them like you would do on a saxophone, because if I was going, because I got frets, you'd hear that slide up. It's all about serving the melody, serving the song, but yeah, keeping the melody consistent with the song and playing what needs to be played and serving the song rather than serving your desires as an instrumentalist to try and, stand out and, play too many notes, because that's not what this song is all about. This is about melody, simplicity, hooks, staying in your head and getting people involved. Getting people involved physically was a huge part of it, and something that was new. Again, we're talking 1962 here, so all of these things that we take for granted now started back then. This would have been one of the first times that there was actually something you could dance along to, and it actually had particular movements that you did. There's a difference between saying this, because anyone can say this, that right, it has to be straightforward with a progression, Really simple time signature, got to be catchy, got to have hooks in there. But writing something like that is a whole nother beast. Like, if you could do that every time, of course, you would do that every time, and everybody would be writing hits day in, day out. But getting all of these elements to come together and hit a chord, no pun intended, with the population en masse is an art in itself. So just a great song, and the fact that it's been covered so many times as well. And the people that have covered it have had huge hits with it, like Kylie that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, really interesting one to take a look at tonight. And thank you guys for requesting this particular video for me to take a look at. As always, keep those coming in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock.